Welcome everyone, it's RustyMoney here. This is a place of live streams, challenges, let's plays and more. So sit back and relax with your favorite beverage and a delicious donut, and I hope you enjoy this next creation. Welcome back everybody. This is your friend RustyMoney, and we're here for another episode of what I call It's an Experiment here on Wampsville, New York. So we got a few things to do. Number one, we're going to buy another piece of equipment and go do a contract that is going to pay us a pretty decent price. But what I just see now as we come over here to the store, I'm going to see if we can pick up. Now, I know that there is an update coming to this map, and it's a massive update, if you will. And hopefully our friend D-Tap and his team have figured out how to fix this. But I wonder if we can get to this. Oh yeah, we can. We can still get to this here. Now, let's collect this. We implemented a small communal online shop because in real life there is not always a shop with driving distance in its 21st century. You can order online and get things delivered. Alright, cool. Well, we got ourselves a little bit more money. Not a lot, but a little bit off that collectible. Alright, now we're going to buy a new piece of equipment over there from this guy working the counter. Alright, here we go. We are going to buy this Unreal plow. Yeah, just because I can. We're just going to leave it like it is right here, and we're going to purchase it for $4,200. Alright, we've got $1,802 left to our name. But now it is time to go and do a contract on this here series on Wampsville, New York. So I think we can get to our contract field this way, I believe. We've got quite the journey to get there as we travel through this little community of Wampsville and by our roller coaster that's not completed in construction right now. And it's my understanding that I believe there's a big update coming to that roller coaster for this map 2, something to do with it anyway. But yeah, I can't wait to see the update for this map here on console. Alright, now how do we get there? I'm gonna assume that maybe we turn left here to get to that field. Let's take a left. We're going through the valleys and over the hills to this field, everybody. We've got a $13,000 plowing contract up here on this field. So that is going to help. That will put us up to, you know, about $14,000 or so, hopefully. There's a couple other contracts that are available on the map as well that we could use. I think there was a rock removal and maybe a transport, a log transport one. I don't know if we'll do either one of those yet, but we will see what happens after we complete this plowing contract. Now, I done a little testing off camera over at my farm. I'll show you that once we get done with plowing this field in on this contract, and hopefully this is where we need to go. I'm hoping this is the right way we need to go. But yeah, I tested mowing some grass over at our farm, so you'll see that when we get over there. I also, off camera on a different game save, have tested the boundary of shouldn't say boundary, but the use of my raspberry garden here on Wampsville, because it's my understanding that Wampsville here has a lot of already what do you want to say, like fill types, I guess, or something. I'm not a modder, not a map maker. Something to do with that, to where you can't really add any additional items palette wise, because if you add more than one, it's gonna cause a problem. Oh hey, what is that? The first ever scarecrow in a field, everybody, in Farming Simulator I've ever seen. I wonder if it's a collectible. Oh yeah! There are 25 collectibles on each version of Wampsville, New York. Try and find them all. Hey, you've discovered the scarecrow. This item symbolizes not needing to wander through peculiar paths in search of wit. Alright, well now our money is up to 11,881. That was nice. I don't even know for sure how much that collectible was. I didn't even pay attention. So, I'm guessing it was around 10,000, right? Because we were at 1,881. So it must have been like a $10,000 collectible. That was cool. That was totally not planned. I had no idea that was there. But yeah, this map is really gonna be really intriguing after the update comes to all platforms. I can't wait, and I hope it's kind of flawless, if you will. I hope that D-Tap and his team don't have to make too many you know, fixes in order to update the update, you know. So like, it's gonna get an update here soon, hopefully, but hopefully there ain't too many fixes after that update's released for all people. But it's gonna be a very, very eye-catching update. I have a feeling it's gonna be very eye-catching. Hopefully there's a few more people that will try and play one of the 3 versions of Wampsville, New York. This DIY version, which we're on right now, or the forestry map, or the homestead map. There's 3 maps in one map pack for Wampsville, New York. So yeah, so getting back to the whole fill type palette thing. So I had found out after releasing my first video for this series, connected a little bit with D-Tap in a live stream, and found out that you know, basically I was given a fair warning that this map would possibly break or malfunction, if you will, if I put down too many additional productions that, produce pallets. Additional pallets to the game, because this map and all the features it has the pallet limit pretty much maxed, if you will. And I might not be presenting that to you in the correct grammar, if you will. But let's just say that the bag of groceries is almost full and you can't put nothing else in the bag, you know. Yeah, so I supposedly should be okay with just my raspberry garden producing pallets. If I put down another production point that produces pallets, possibly my game save will, like, break. I think what that means is I might not be able to load back onto it, or the game might just crash. So I'll just have to delete the game save or something. I'm not sure. Thankfully, it hasn't happened yet. Now my question is, and I haven't reached out to DTAP, is there's productions that don't produce pallets. They just give you a fill type out of like a silo on the mod. You know, like there's some corn dryer mods where you could dry corn and fill your trailer up from the silo part of that mod. There's no pallets. So I'm just kind of curious now as if productions that don't produce pallets would work. If you could add in productions that don't produce pallets and be okay. Or is it just the whole additional fill type thing, you know? To where if you add in like a corn dryer, a donut maker, if you will, if there was one, a coffee maker, so you got like 3 different fill types now. You know, and not all of them may produce pallets. So, yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. We got a long journey here. Hopefully the update comes soon, but we'll wait patiently. This way we can explore the map and we can figure out the do's and don'ts, if you will. But we're doing pretty good here with plowing this field and keeping you occupied, I hope. I hope you all are kind of enjoying this kind of different gameplay. I really don't have myself... I haven't really restricted myself in any manner, really. I can do whatever I want, pretty much. I just started with pretty much a little of nothing, you know. I really love the game when you set yourself up like a start like you would have started on No Man's Land, you know, with an old rustic house, maybe an old shed or two, a water fill point, a little workshop, a silo, maybe even have a little crop in that silo to start, a couple of different varieties of crop, because if you go back to like FS19, everybody, in FS19, maps that were produced by modders were well known for having a little of storage crop already in the silo for you to utilize. I don't know, I kind of miss that aspect a little bit. And the amount of stuff in those silos wouldn't have to be ginormous, you know, like, I don't know, just throwing a number out there, like 4,250 liters of oats maybe, and maybe like 1,800 liters of corn, or, you know, just a couple of different varieties of crops with some fill types already in the silo for you to sell if you wanted to. Or you could continue to stock it up. But yeah, whenever I start a new game save, I just love setting myself up on a different piece of land with kind of like a no man's land feel, and starting with a little bit of nothing. And each time I do this, I try and pick different types of equipment to start with, and then I got to do contracts or mow grass on my property, or cut trees, or whatever you can do to make money to buy some of the equipment that I need to progress through in the future of the gameplay. So that's what we're doing here. We didn't have a plow, now we have a plow. Yeah, this plow is a little bit unrealistic, but hey, sometimes you just gotta have fun. And when I do the new series here on Wampsville, after we get the update to the game, I'm gonna completely reorganize it. I'm probably highly considering Wampsville, New York, for what I did to start my channel with back on Mercury Farms in FS19. I'm really considering this map for that gameplay to be brought back from the start of RustyMoney Gaming on YouTube, where I start with a survival farm, like a little old tiny Western style, if you will, back in the 50s and 60s, something like that. Just a really old feel of a farm, and then progress forward as like a progressive farmer series, if you will. Maybe that's what I'll call it even. I don't know. But I do know this. I will enjoy that type of gameplay, and we will not be using the unrealistic plow until I can get enough money to get an appropriate sized tractor to pull it. Not like this little 120 horsepower one. That's pulling it with no problems because we're pulling it the wrong way, which is also how the mod was made to be created, was you could pull it from the proper way on the other side of the plow, which I'm not pulling it from. I'm pulling it on the back side of the plow with your plow tines facing the other direction, which allows anything to basically pull it. Now, if I'd be pulling it from the other side, I don't believe I would be able to pull this plow. But this is a case tractor. This is an old Agra King, 451 cubic inch. So I think this thing might surprise us. Let's just try it. I'm curious. Let's detach it. We're almost done with this contract anyway. This is a fun series. I mean, just to have fun. Not worry too much about what I need to do next. Yeah, we don't got much money. But let's see, can this 120 horsepower tractor pull this unrealistic plow the correct way that requires like 320 horsepower, I think. Oh, you can see the difference, right? Yeah, it's given the old test to the 451 cubic inch case 1070 Agra King right here. It's pulling it, but it's not pulling it good enough, you know. So that's why when the modder created it, he wanted it to be unrealistic as well. And I just love that. So thank you to our friend Ridiculous Dominic for the creation of this great plow. Alright, let's turn around now. Now let's get this contract finished so we can collect another $13,000 and have almost $25,000, I think, in our pocket. And it's almost time to move into November. Now the other thing too is I got the alfalfa field that we harvested re-fertilized. Now what I don't know is, does the alfalfa grow back, or do we need to plow it in and plant new crop? Well, I think we should look at that and see if it tells us anything here in the game. Let's get off the field here and collect our contract. Contract completed for Ben. Alright, we had no problems with the contract. We got paid. That all works. Great. Alright. What was the other two contracts? It was rock removal and wood transport, and now stone picking on that field we just plowed. That turned around really quick. I just don't have an appropriate stone picker right now. Now we could possibly look at buying something, but not ready to do that quite yet. So, let's look down here at this help menu, and I just want to see what it maybe says, if it does say anything about alfalfa anywhere here. And it doesn't appear that it's gonna say anything. Let's go up here. Maybe it will say something under like grass type crops. Not seeing anything in that information about alfalfa. But I would assume that it's gonna regrow. If anybody can at all tell me that, I would love the comments in this episode on YouTube. How about sowing and planting? It doesn't say anything there. Okay. Alright, well, that will work. Let's just go to the store and let's see what we do have. Maybe we got something for stone removal that we could utilize, and we could maybe make another 10 grand. It might be time consuming to do that on that field, but we'll see. Otherwise, maybe we could pick up that rock removal contract. I might have something installed to where we could do that rock removal contract and make that money, that little $2,800 or whatever it was that it was paying us. So, yeah, we'll get down to the store and see what we can maybe purchase. We do got $25,046 right now. It is a 3:15 in the afternoon in October here in the Wampsville, New York area in FS25 here on PlayStation 5. With myself, RustyMoney. Appreciate all the new viewers, all the new likes, all the new comments, all the new shares. from everybody, and appreciate each and every one of your support. Don't ever hesitate, everybody, to reach out to RustyMoney if you ever got any questions or ideas or suggestions. I do have a Discord channel. Sometimes I forget to plug that link into the descriptions of the videos, but if you're on Discord, just look up RustyMoney and you should find an icon with a picture of a red barn. You can send me a message. Alright, there's our sawmill. To the left over there, we got, you know, that first load of logs hauled in the last episode. We need to get some more wood over there to the sawmill. Now, the other thing too, speaking of the sawmill, and my whole point of the productions, and whether or not I could use like a corn dryer mod or something that doesn't produce pallets, but gives you a fill type. You know, but now what if could I maybe use Gaming Joy's sawmill, as long as I don't set the pallets to produce? Could I use Gaming Joy's sawmill as just a distribution point for my wood, so I don't gotta transport it? I could place Gaming Joy's sawmill over on my property and just distribute the wood to the sawmill on the map. I think that maybe I might take the risk and try that. I just don't know about doing it in this episode. We'll maybe wait and see. If, like, our friend D-Tap sends me a message and tells me, I think that would work. Well, I think it might. Let's take a look at some equipment here. Stone pickers. Ooh, 56,000, 64,000. Now, I think in the mod hub there is a little bit cheaper of an item for stone picking. Alright, what do we got for rock removal? I could go down here to hand tools. Okay, nope, not there. Maybe it's in, stump cutters? Nope. Miscellaneous? Nope. Mulchers? Nope. Well, let's see if I got that mod activated here. My yeah, me do. My jackhammer. There it is right there. So where is that at? In the store then. Miscellaneous. There we go. Miscellaneous hand tools. Alright, we're going to buy this thing. Alright, we bought ourselves a jackhammer. Alright. So now, let's look at that contract again for that neighbor. Alright, Katie, rock removal. Clear over on plot 67. Okay, well, let's accept that contract. And we will see about removing some rocks for Katie. Alright, we need to get that their jackhammer, and we need to get that over to that plot of land. We could use a little bit better of a set of wheels to get to and from over there a little bit quicker than our tractor. And I shouldn't be driving across that property, but I just did again. Alright, let's get our plow. You know, some plows on farms in real life, they don't always sit inside because they're too big. So let's just set our plow right here in front of our shed. Right there. Alright, we're gonna park this here in the shed for a second. And I'm gonna hop in my RV here, get something cold to drink, and we'll be back with you here in a second. Alright, welcome back everybody. Well, we're gonna buy another piece of equipment here, I think. And we are gonna get this thing right here, I believe. That is what we're gonna get. We can customize a little bit. We can actually put a 3-point on the rear, but for now I don't need that. And we will maybe color this. Let's just see what it's gonna cost. Change. Let's go to like Case IH red. It didn't cost me anything. Alright. Okay, now let's see about changing those to black. And what's this design color do if we change that? Ooh, yuck. Let's just make that jet black. Yeah. And the color, though, not too keen on the color. What about a darker red? Let's get the darker red. Let's buy this thing. 17,200. Alright, well, we got $6,346, but we are going to do a contract, and we are going to be utilizing that thing. So let's pick this thing up. Let's see if we can put it in our thing so it doesn't fall out on us. Strap it in there. Alright, let's go do our contract. We got some new wheels. Now, I think we got to go cross country to get to this one, and I'm not sure, but I think it's over this way. Oh, we're going the wrong way, everybody. Okay, we need to go this way. It's kind of over there by our farm, really. Alright, we can go a little faster now. That is awesome. We're gonna take off the road here. And I think we need to go somewhere about in this direction. Oh, I see the rocks. Alright. I see the rocks. They're even flagged out. Alright, let's hop out. Let's undo our strap. Let's get our jackhammer. Alright, we're going to drop the jackhammer for a minute. Oh man, we barely can find it in this tall grass. Alright, let's position it. Let's get over here and... Oh man, we're going right to work, aren't we? Alright, that one's done. Alright, let's get this one. Come on, a little hard to hold. There we go. come on, chopper away. All right, we got that one. Let's get this one here. All right, that one broke apart too. I think we got just a couple left. Oh, we dropped our jackhammer. Ouch, it landed on my toe. Ah, good thing it wasn't that bit end. It would have really bit our toe. Alright, contract finished. Okay, let's put this back in our retriever. Let's strap it in. Alright, now, I wonder if we can steal these stones. The only problem is I don't think there's very many of them. I just don't think we're going to find very many of them. And also the fact that it's very, very hard to see if there is any even. We're going to let it go. But usually, you know, you can steal the stones if you don't select the, you know, accepting the contract. Well, these stones on here might just disappear because of the tall grass, because you wouldn't be able to see them anyway. Alright, well, let's collect on our contract from our mobile app here. Alright, sweet. We're back up to $9,096. Let's get over to the farm and show you the things I was talking about over there, where I tested a little bit of mowing some grass and trying to get some trees ready. Alright, let's pull in here. We're back at our farm. Man, I just love this little farm, how I got it set up. Alright, let's go back behind my shed. We got some new wheels. This thing handles really well, everybody. Let's give you the third person view. Alright, now you can see over here I mowed where I planted my trees, because I want to be able to see my trees a little bit easier. So I planted a row of trees right here, you know, when I set this up, and then my other row of trees is right there going back up towards the farmyard kinda. And we got two more rows of trees, I believe. We got this row of trees right here going back towards the fence line that direction. And we got another one down here going back up towards the fence that direction. And then, oh yeah, there's one more long one, I think. This long one right here, clear over to the other side of our farm, kind of going back up towards the bottom portion, if you will, of our property here that goes back over towards the farm. So you can see that there. So my idea here to help me with my logging is I was going to mow where I wanted the tree to fall. So I took down a tree there, got it all cut up, and now we are going to load it up. Alright, well, let's get my jackhammer put in the shed, I think. We're going to put the jackhammer in the shed. Let's see if we can get it in the shed. Now, come on, Jack. There we go. You weren't strapped in anymore, you know. Alright, now it's not a chainsaw, but I'm not sure it'll hang up here. We'll find out if it will, actually. Can we put it up there? And I don't remember how to get them up there on the board. Nope. I don't think it'll hang here. I thought maybe it would, but that's alright. Let's lay it on the bench here. This is where you're supposed to put some paint cans. We got another bench we could put it on. We don't really got another bench we could put it on. Let's put it over here. This is where you can put your paint cans for painting trees, but we'll just put it here. I think it'll be okay right there. Not gonna hurt nothing. Alright, now let's hook this up to our trailer, our log trailer. I think it'll be okay if we put this on the log trailer. I don't think it'll be too much weight for it. And I don't mean pulling weight. What I mean is weight from the trailer weighing down on the machine it's connected to. Let's get this set over here. Now we probably even can possibly load some of these by hand. So let's see about loading some of these by hand, but I gotta check my time here. Alright, we got time. Let's get this picked up and put on our trailer because we need some more wood over at our sawmill. We really need to start making some, you know, passive income so we can continue to buy more things for our farm. We really do need to get another field plowed in. I need to figure out where I want to put that other field. We might need to take out another tree or two in order to put down a pretty good sized field if we wanted to. So we'll be thinking about that. Now this here one didn't trim the branches very well, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and stack her. Whoa! Stack it on the trailer. Anyway. Maybe if I pull out my chainsaw, we can... Oh. Zap those. There we go. We got those off there. How many more of these can we lift by hand? Alright, sweet. This is kind of nice when you can lift it by hand. It kind of moves things a little quicker. Now, I also thought about buying a winch, because then I could save a little bit of time from loading all the time. I really like the whole winching aspect, and I never thought I would. The first time I started winching trees was on FS22 on my Pioneer Challenge on Alone in the World, which is another kind of map, like a no man's land kind of map, or like Calm Lands. Okay, we got 3 logs here that we need to get loaded onto that trailer. So let's get our skid steer and get those loaded so we can get that small load over to our sawmill to start making us some product that we can move and or sell. Alright, let's get this. We might end up having to think about putting more weights on our skid steer here too. We just got a minimum amount of weight. Our good old Massey Ferguson skid steer doing us well right here. We got a few trees to load. Just 3 little logs, and we're going to take that load to the sawmill. I might consider that stone contract, but we'll see if it's still available when we move into November. We're about to round out October here. Let's see if we can lift 2 of them. We should be able to get them on the forks there. Oh yeah, we're good. One more, we wouldn't have been able to pick it up, I don't think. The functionality of this skid steer is really good. It works really well. The use of the arms and everything moves really smooth. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's get our last log here. We can take that little load to our sawmill. Yeah, so I'd really like to know if the alfalfa grows back, everybody. It'd be really nice if somebody comment for me on that. I honestly do not know, everybody. I think it will. I do not know, though. Whoa! Okay, we just about lost our load there. That wouldn't have been good. Alright, let's hop in our retriever. Strap those in. It kind of acts like it kind of strapped the four-wheeler too. So let's strap these, but not the front strap. Okay, that did also weight down the ATV as well. Sometimes when you strap these front straps on trailers with different mods, it kind of locks them to where you can't turn them. Now this one doesn't seem like that, but it definitely can tell that it is a load. So maybe this isn't a very good ATV to use for pulling our load of logs. We might need to use the Agri King, which would have more power, just not speed. Alright, let's take this to our sawmill. Now I think, if I remember right, we can go... Oh, no, we gotta go down to the other road. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, ouch. Brand new ATV. Need a new front clip. We're gonna go this way. And drop this load off at our sawmill. Now, also, yeah, so number one, I'd like to know if that alfalfa regrows, everybody. And number two, could somebody also tell me, I lost my train of thought there, sorry. Also tell me if you think maybe, like D-Tap, if you're watching and listening, my friend, if we bought Gaming Joy's sawmill and placed it over at the farm and only used it to distribute the wood, would it be okay? Do you think it would cause any problem? Because I wouldn't turn the pallet production on. I'd just be distributing the wood. Alright, now let's oops, sell that there. I think that's where we go. Alright, where's the sell icon thing? This is only the second load I've ever taken over here. Oh, I forgot. See, the one thing I like about DTAP that did to this map is he put the unloading point outside of the shed. I forgot that. This is only the second load we've ever taken here. Thank you, DTAP, for putting that outside of the shed instead of under the shed like Giants did. Alright, we've got a load distributed there to our sawmill now. Alright, well, we can get back to the farm. and you know, do some more work. I might take a few loads of trees, everybody, off camera over to the sawmill. Alright, but what I want to do yet here is I got a couple of loads of grass in my silo that we could go sell. Now the other thing would be also is, could we put down a fermenting silo and make silage? Would that break the game as well? Because it's not making pallets, it's just making a fill type for us to put into a trailer to sell. Let's just drop this right here. For now, let's grab our tractor. So that's the other thing. We do some silage. Now I could do a silage bunker. I think that would work. But I just don't know about a fermenting silo. Alright, well, let's fill up with a load of grass and we're gonna go sell it. Alright. What else do we got to sell, actually? We got 72,000 liters of alfalfa yet that we can sell. Let's sell that, because that's probably worth more than my grass, but let's check. So alfalfa is 157 at the sell all elevator here on Wampsville. And grass is 140. So yeah, 17 more dollars. Let's load up some alfalfa and go sell a load to get us a little bit of money here. Alright, let's go deliver a load. Oh, now I could have showed you how much grass we got in there. You may have saw that. We only have 19,624 liters of grass in there from the grass I cut by my trees for right now off camera prior to recording this. But let's go sell this load of alfalfa, make a little cash, and we'll probably call it a day. Let's see what we can make off of this here. Hopefully we'll make a couple of thousand anyway. That would be nice. Now, I should maybe look for a trailer that's cheap, that holds a little bit more product. The 9,000 liters. Make the haul a little bit more worth it. Alright, let's sell it here where Briggs is at. Our friend Briggs. 1,547 liters is all we got there. Alright, well, we're at $10,643, everybody. I feel like we're doing pretty good. You know, we did a plowing contract. We bought some new equipment. We did a removal of stone contract. We loaded up a tree. We sold some product. Yeah, I think we did some nice work here. So, I think we'll leave it here, everybody. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you drop me a tasty treat on that like button, which is better known by myself as a cop battery and by you all people as delicious donut. Don't forget to leave us comments in the comment section, and please share a box of donuts with all your friends and family by sharing the videos and the live streams from the channel. But from myself, RustyMoney, we will see you all on the flip side. Have a good one. I'm going to sell one more load of alfalfa. See you later, everybody. Thanks for all of your support, my friends. Have a good one.
英雄。